This video will talk about task groups. Now, task groups are used to organize if you have a checklist of things you do often. You can put them in a task group and then add them to work orders or schedule maintenance on the fly, which really kind of speeds up adding procedures to work orders. So to create a task group, I'm going to head over to the maintenance menu and then the third one down, task groups. Okay, so I've already got two in here. I'm going to go ahead and add a third. Now, to create a task group is pretty simple. All I need is the title. Okay, and then one by one, I can go ahead and add tasks. Okay, if I want to get more detailed, I can also add a time estimate in hours. So we'll say this one takes 0.25 hours, which is 15 minutes. So I've added 3 more tasks here, which gives me a list of 4, and I'll click Save. So now I'll head over to work orders, and I'll show you how this works in practice. So if I create a new work order, and I'm building the task list for it, I head over to labor tasks, and at the bottom here I have the option of adding a single task by clicking plus, or I can add a task group by clicking the double plus next to it. Okay, and I'm going to select the auto calibration test that I just built. So I select that, the 4 tasks pop up. I can rearrange them if I want. I can go ahead and assign these to different users. I'll give this one to Greg, and the next one I can give to Jeff. Okay, easy enough. It's the same procedure for schedule maintenance. If I head over to my CNC weekly PM here, I head over to labor tasks, same thing, single task or double plus to add a task group. Select the auto calibration test. One thing here is different, and that you notice the task control prohibits me from deleting these tasks. Okay, the warning pops up and says this task is controlled through a task group. Tasks associated with this need to be managed through by the task groups area. Okay, so this means that once I add the task group to a schedule maintenance, that relationship is static. If I want to edit these tasks, I need to edit them from the task group area. Okay, so the reason for this is I can take that task group and add it to all my schedule maintenance. So let's say I add it to every single one of these schedule maintenance. And then if I update the task group, because there's a relationship there, because they're tied, when I edit the task group, the change gets uploaded to all the schedule maintenance at once, without me having to go through each individual one, open the schedule maintenance, edit the task list, go to the next schedule maintenance, edit the task list, okay? Instead, I just go to the task group area. Let's say I wanted to add a 5th task here. Okay, so because of the relationship, I add one more task to the auto calibration test. And now when I go back to my CNC machine, it has the 5th task already added, okay? And that's because of the task control here. Okay, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's the ability of task groups to be associated with an asset category. This is a relatively new feature. So I open the task group and head over to the last tab, which is asset category. And what this is I can say that for a certain asset category, in this case, I'm going to pick etch. So any asset that belongs to this category, when I create a work order for it or a schedule maintenance for it, it'll automatically include this task list. Okay, so click save and we'll see how this works. So go over to work orders, create new, and for the type of asset, it needs to be a piece of etch machinery. Okay, so I've only got one, which is a milling station. I click save. Okay, and it recognizes that this asset is part of the etch category and automatically adds the task list.